I think, like I said before, just the concept of a student-centered learning environment. So really allowing the student to, and myself actually as a student, to navigate the course at my own pace. I really valued that. And I think that not only did that help me learn the material better, but it also taught me valuable life skills. So like just time management, being able to do that on my own without, like I said before, like somebody telling me directly, this is how things should be done, or this is when this is due and this is when this is due, but allowing myself to set like goals for myself and working at it on my own pace and really understanding what I'm good at and what I'm not good at.
Anisha Aggarwal is a graduate of the Ontario Virtual School, a school ahead of its time teaching virtually with the most up-to-date technology then and now. As a virtual student, Anisha found the care and support from her online teacher to be inspiring and encouraging. As well, Anisha enjoyed a sense of community along with an instilled work ethic while studying at the Ontario Virtual School. We're going to talk to you about your time at Ontario Virtual School, Anisha. And I wonder if you can start, please, by giving us a summary of what you've been up to since you graduated from the Ontario Virtual School, where you went to post-secondary school, and what you studied and what you're up to now. So if you can just, tell us about that stuff, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So after my journey at Ontario Virtual School, I did an undergraduate degree at York University. I did my honors in biology. So that was 4 years. And then I also went on to pursue a master's in teaching. So I did 2 years at University of Toronto, their master's program that is for teaching. So I just completed that. And I'm actually back at Ontario Virtual School working with them.
Oh, that's great.
My first year with them, yeah.
How many years were you with the Ontario Virtual School as a student?
So I took one course with OVS. It was in English, grade 12 English, which I completed in about, I would say, 2 to 4 months. So I was with them for that long, yeah.
Oh, good. And you're happy being where you are back at school, at that school, I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely great to come full circle and come back to OVS, especially being a student there. I'm familiar with their learning management system, familiar with the admin, some of the teachers. So it's definitely exciting to be teaching with them for sure.
Well, that's pretty cool. Do you think that the Ontario Visual School, Anisha, influenced your choice of university and area of study?
In a way, yes. I did through my experiences with Ontario Virtual School, with that online component. I do feel that I found myself to be kind of good at learning new things and adapting in certain situations, which I had to do with Ontario Virtual School, coming from a public school where I was always exposed to in-person learning and in-person teaching, having the teacher in front of me sitting in a classroom. So that was definitely something that I feel kind of prepped me for post-secondary as well in a way. Coming into post-secondary, I was exposed to a whole online environment more so than I was in high school. So that was definitely something that I think not necessarily encouraged me to pursue biology, but rather actually helped me succeed better in university in terms of time management and being able to navigate online systems and things like that. So that was definitely one component for sure.
Excellent. And you touched on something really interesting there, time management. That's really become a thing, hasn't it?
Yes, no, for sure. Time management is super important.
I just got a new planner today, so I'm all on time management.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to do a little work for us here, Anisha.
Okay.
If you were to write a resume listing
Mhm.
your experiences and accomplishments and interests while at Ontario Virtual School, what do you think it would say? For example, what subjects did you prefer and excel at? And what extracurricular activities were you involved in?
With Ontario Virtual School?
Yeah.
Well, considering I only took one course with them, I took English grade 12, as I mentioned. I did find that I excelled pretty well. English was definitely something that was a little more challenging in high school. So for me to pursue that during the summer, it really allowed me to kind of focus my attention just on that one course, which I felt was really important. So I wasn't really involved in any extracurricular activities with Ontario Virtual School because it was online. But the good thing about Ontario Virtual School was that I was able to engage in other extracurricular activities outside of the school while also managing my learning with them. So sometimes due to a set schedule in person, you're not always able to do that because of that 8 to 3 p.m. that you're in school. So I felt that that was really important for me because I was able to work a part-time job, do that, and come home and be able to still navigate through the course at my own pace. So that was super important to me.
Excellent. What's your proudest memory at the school, would you say?
My proudest memory at Ontario Virtual School was definitely, I think, my interactions with the teachers. I think sometimes there's a persona that with an online school system, there isn't that level of personal interaction with your teachers because it's all online and you don't get to see the teacher in person. But I did feel that the teacher that I was working with, was really helpful. I was constantly engaged in conversation through email with the teacher. The teacher was constantly available to help me and guide me. And I found that to be really important and definitely something that was a big part of what I remember about Ontario Virtual School.
So for the English course you took, it was just one teacher all the way through, was it?
Yes, it was one teacher all the way through. Yeah.
That must have been great. I mean, a great, what's the word? Great source of knowledge and comfort to you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Completely. I agree. Yeah. Even coming back and now teaching with OVS, having that connection with that teacher and still remembering the ways that that teacher helped me, I think also helped me decide to become a teacher kind of in a way as well. So that was really important for me. Yeah.
Excellent. Now let's think back to when you and your family were going to choose a school. How and why did you choose Ontario Virtual School? And you mentioned, I think you were attending a school before that.
Yeah, so I was just with Peel, so I was in regular public school. Ontario Virtual School was actually my very first private school experience. So I had never taken a private school course or been enrolled in a private school at all. I was always with the public school system. So it was definitely a nerve-wracking decision that I made, but I did feel like it was one of the best decisions I made for myself, especially during the summer, as it kept me busy. I was able to learn at my own pace. I felt more independent while I was learning because I was able to go back, revise lessons, review certain concepts that I didn't understand, really just working at my own pace, and also allowing myself to set goals. That was really important for me as well. I didn't feel that I was constantly being told what to do. It was up to me to kind of navigate that learning experience for myself. So I feel that that definitely was nerve-wracking, but choosing to do that with the private school, I definitely learned a lot. So that was really a really good experience for me. Yeah, for sure.
Now, if you had to pick one thing, what did you appreciate most about attending Ontario Virtual School?
I think, like I said before, just the concept of a student-centered learning environment. So really allowing the student to, and myself actually as a student, to navigate the course at my own pace. I really valued that. And I think that not only did that help me learn the material better, but it also taught me valuable life skills. So like just time management, being able to do that on my own without, like I said before, like somebody telling me directly, this is how things should be done, or this is when this is due and this is when this is due, but allowing myself to set like goals for myself and working at it on my own pace and really understanding what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, or what I need to be working on, and what maybe I don't need to be giving so much attention to. So it was just a whole learning experience for me, like in terms of just not the material, but also learning about myself. Like I was able to learn a lot about myself and my learning style and preferences through the course.
Anisha, let's step back and try and see Ontario Virtual School as objectively as possible. And to the best of your knowledge, other than the obvious, what most differentiates Ontario Virtual School from other schools that families may choose instead?
Um, I think it's the diversity, really. I think it's the diversity in not just the learning material, but also um, the availability of courses. So the amount of courses available, the students, the diversity in the students, the diversity in the teachers. I think everyone brings something different to the school. And I think that's really important because it's not so, I would say, black and white where um, everybody's learning the same thing from the same person. Like I think it's really diverse, and the content that you're learning is very diverse. And there's always room for that, I think. And I think that's really important for students to experience that. So learning from different perspectives. Also, along with that, I feel like Ontario Virtual School is constantly evolving. Like they're always considering what parents have to say, considering what students have to say, and really molding their way of teaching and delivery according to what the parents need and what the students need. So I think that's really important for sure.
Okay, let's have some fun with this. Say
Okay.
Ontario Virtual School is personified. The school has become a person.
Mm-hmm.
If it were to become a single person that we could get to know, can you describe its personality in 3 words?
This is hard. Okay. Um, inclusive. I think empathetic. I know that's a big one, but I use that as an umbrella term because I feel like they're super welcoming and they do definitely cater to individual needs of students. And being a student and then a teacher, I think I was able to firsthand experience that, the way that teachers were able to cater to my needs, and then how I'm able to cater to different student needs as well. I can definitely see how each student requires that individual attention and how I need to cater my attention to each student and how I can help each student succeed. And I think that's a big part of what OVS teaches or kind of wants that to be a big part of their learning environment as well. So definitely that. And lastly, I think trustworthy for sure. I think trusting them in the sense that in connection to the idea that they're constantly evolving and they're taking your needs into consideration. I feel like that's kind of a bond of trust that Ontario Virtual School creates with their students and their parents, which I believe is like really important. I think that if you don't have that connection with your students and with the parents, it's hard to navigate through courses, and that's not just for the teachers, but also for the students as well. So having that bond and having that communication is central to, I feel, what OVS believes, and I think that's really important.
Those are 3 great personality traits you came up with there, Anisha. Inclusive, empathetic, and trustworthy. And now, what would you say are the school's highest values in practice, in actual practice?
I think that their highest values, their community, maybe the community like feeling that they have. And that obviously ties into the concept of trustworthiness, inclusiveness. So being welcoming. And I think that their idea of trying to reach out to diverse communities and bringing everyone together into this learning environment, I think that's really important for sure. And that's one thing that I think is their highest value for sure. Yeah.
Great. What do you think students and families would find surprising about Ontario Virtual School? And what surprised you when you were there as a student?
Um, I think that there's sometimes this negative association with online learning that it's all up to you and it's all in your own hands. And if you're in an online course, like you're all on your own kind of thing. But that's not the case. And I think that that was really surprising for me. As I mentioned earlier, like having that teacher support, even though there wasn't an in-person interaction, having that teacher support still there, like having the teacher reply to me within like an hour of me sending an email, like having that was super important for me. And I think that parents can also be surprised of how accommodating OVS is actually, even just at a super individual level, like making sure that staying connected with students, making sure that they're doing well and they're doing okay. And if even if the student isn't responding or active in the course, making sure that we're constantly asking them if there's anything that they need, any sort of resources that they need, any sort of additional aids that they need, making sure that's all available to them and that they know that. So I think that that level of that personalization, sometimes we feel that that might be missing in an online environment, but there is definitely a personal component with Ontario Virtual School, although it is an online school. So that's something that parents can definitely be surprised of when they're enrolling their kids into the school, for sure.
Well, speaking of students, Anisha, can you describe for me a typical student at Ontario Visual School and how you remember students relating to one another, even though it was virtual?
I think a typical student at Ontario Virtual School is actually pretty busy, I would say. Busy, when I say busy, I mean that they might have a part-time job, they might be a part of some sort of extracurricular activity, whether it's sports related or academically or socially. So having Ontario Virtual School, I feel, is extremely helpful to them because they're able to work at their own pace. So I think especially students who have other interests outside of, I think, that academic environment. I feel like this is really helpful for them because they can access OVS lessons and courses at any time during the day. So that's definitely helpful to them, especially if they have odd working schedules or odd schedules where they definitely need that accommodation. Also being able to review those lessons at their own pace, becoming more independent learners. So I feel like students definitely connect in that sense that usually they are more independent learners and they're.
Okay, let's get personal here. Do you think your experience at Ontario Virtual School has shaped who you are today as a person, and in what way?
um, Yeah, for sure. I think it has in a way. I think any sort of experience, whether small or big in life, shapes who you are as a person. So definitely, even though I took only one course with Ontario Virtual School, I think it kind of set that base for me that I am able to navigate an online course. I am able to be independent. I can successfully complete a course on my own without somebody prompting me to finish something. I can be successful in a course and learn the material and do all of that on my own. So I do feel like it definitely has made an impact in my life, especially after pursuing 2 degrees. I definitely think that I'm better at navigating technology in general or online classes. Like I think I'm more quick at that because I got exposure to that earlier. And as we all know, online learning has become such a big part of this world now, especially during the pandemic. Like everything is online. So having that, I feel, is so important, and being able to experience that early on really helped me succeed then further in my during my undergrad and during my master's as well. So for sure, yeah, I definitely feel like it's made a big impact.
And reflecting back on your own experience at Ontario Virtual School, Anisha, if you had to pick something to change about the school, what do you think it would be? What would have helped you if it were different about the school when you were there?
Well, As a student, I was there a long time ago. So it's definitely, I think it's been over 8 years, maybe 10 actually, 9 to 10 years. So definitely see OVS come a long way. Now, when I was a student there, they didn't have a video component in their lessons where you could see the instructor explaining the course. It was just an audio with the slides. So definitely now I can see coming into the school as a teacher how many things have changed and how many things have evolved where now a lot of the courses are audio and video narrated. And I think that's super important because that definitely keeps students more engaged in the course material when they can see the instructor navigating through the course as well. So that's one change that I feel like was really important and that OVS is definitely moving towards for sure to create that more personal experience for students.
Excellent answer. Now you're back at the school as a teacher, but how
Yes.
has your perspective on the school and your experience there evolved over time? I mean, you said you graduated quite a while ago, but
Yeah.
uh, how have your feelings evolved about the school?
I've definitely grown um, to admire the school a lot more, obviously, seeing how far that it's come. There's so many teachers, so many people working together. So I do definitely get that community like feeling. I feel like I've been with OVS this whole time, whether it's as a student or a teacher. So I've never had an issue in that sense. But um, I think that one thing that I feel that they're doing that's really great is once again including the students and the parents in the learning process and making sure that they're making changes that meet the needs of people and those and diversity, of course, including that as well. So meeting the diverse needs of students and parents. So I think that's something that they're continuously working towards, which is extremely important. So that's definitely one thing that I would say.
Great. We're getting close to the end here, and
Okay.
I just wonder, would you recommend other students enroll in Ontario Virtual School?
Yes, for sure. I definitely would.
Can you
Uh,
give me can you give me 3 reasons?
yeah. So I think that one, I think that you will not only learn about the course material, that's obviously a given that like the course that you're enrolling in, you're learning about, but you're also going to learn valuable life skills, which I think are so important, especially for students who are interested in pursuing post-secondary, whether it's college, university, even higher education. I think that Ontario Virtual School is a great prep almost for that because um, these post-secondary schools are all about online learning. Online learning is a big part of their teaching, being able to navigate courses at your own pace, being able to navigate slides, learning on your own. No one is really holding your hand and telling you how to learn or how to do things. So I think that OVS teaches you those valuable skills, which is extremely important. Another thing that I feel OVS does for students is that it helps them set goals. And I think goal setting is extremely valuable, especially in younger students, grades 9 to 12, when they're kind of at that age where I think that you're learning to set goals because you realize later on, I think in post-secondary, how important it is to set goals for yourself in order to manage your time, making sure that you're getting things done. I think when you enroll in a course in OVS, you're definitely exposed to that heavily, that idea of time management and goal setting. So making sure that you're handing in assignments on time or doing tests on time and doing all that, that's all in your own hands.
Good. And outside of those reasons, Anisha, is there anything you'd say to a family considering Ontario Virtual School now? What should they know?
Okay, I think that parents and students should know that Ontario Virtual School is always there to help and guide them in making their decisions about courses, accommodating for their needs that they might have, any sort of learning styles or preferences that they might have, especially students who require that sort of environment where they need to be accommodated for. I feel like Ontario Virtual School is a great place for them. It also helps them become more independent learners, which I think is really important, especially if your kids would like to pursue post-secondary education and would like to continue their studies. I feel that that's really important, and that Ontario Virtual School definitely does a great job at providing that sort of learning environment for kids.
Now, this may be a tricky question, but what about a family who's considering or touring or actually visiting the, I guess, the website or the building? What would you draw their attention to above all else?
I would draw their attention to the OVS story. So, the backstory of how it started, what the vision was when OVS came to be, and what they strive to accomplish. That's definitely something I would recommend parents to take a look at, because that will definitely, I feel, align with their needs for their children. And I feel like that would definitely capture their interest and want them to further look at what OVS offers in terms of courses, staff, different learning resources, all those sorts of things. So definitely the OVS story, backstory for sure.
And finally, Anisha, imagine that you're talking to a student. There's a student on the other end of your camera, and they are just about to enter Ontario Visual School, just about to start their studies there. What's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
I would definitely tell that student to make sure that you are using those resources that are there for you, not hesitating to email your teacher, ask questions, navigate through the website and learn more about what OVS has to offer, because there are different ways that teachers and staff will accommodate for you. Teachers are super friendly, so they'll definitely respond to your email and answer your questions right away. And I think that's really important for students to remember. Along with that, making sure that you're constantly setting goals for yourself when you're navigating through a course. That'll definitely help students succeed and make sure that they're getting through the course successfully and on time as well, depending on what their requirements are in their own personal life and what they're trying to achieve for sure.
Well, I think you must be a terrific teacher because you're not only communicative, you're very connective as well. And
Mhm.
I sure appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. We've been speaking today with Anisha Aggarwal. She's a graduate of the Ontario Virtual School, and I guess she got so much out of the school, she's now a teacher there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I hope that all students definitely pick OVS as a private school that they might be interested in for sure.
Terrific. Thanks again, Anisha. I'm Brian Master for Our Kids Media.